Hello guys, today we're going to be going over sensitivities. We're going to be discussing some of the tools that you can use to find a comfortable sensitivity for you in the game that you're playing and the playstyle that you have, and how to use that to your advantage to really squeak out the best performance that you can. And we're going to be talking about how much it actually dictates what you're doing in game and how much it actually impacts your gameplay. So in this video, when I'm discussing sensitivity, I'll be using the measurement centimeters per 360. And what this means is when you are moving your mouse horizontal from side to side, how many centimeters does it take for you to do a 360-degree turn in the game that you are playing? Using this measurement is very helpful because you can look at sensitivities between different games and not just use the numbers in game. And because there's a lot of variables like DPI, this is a lot better of a tool to measure your sensitivity than just the number in game. So first off, we want to talk about how do you find your sensitivity? How do you find something that's comfortable for you to use? And this is based off of a couple of factors. The first factor is what game you're playing. Games like Overwatch, which are very fast-paced, have a lot of close quarter tracking and a lot of fighting in very close, tight quarters. A higher sensitivity is going to benefit you more than, let's say, you're playing a game like CSGO or Valorant, where crosshair placement is a much heavier mechanic in the game, and having a lower sensitivity, well, you'll have more to gain from using a lower sensitivity in games like that than comparative to a hero shooter. So you want to take a look at what game you're playing and what your playstyle is. If you are a fast-paced jet player or you're a tracer player in Overwatch per se, going in and you have to do a lot of flicky actions, maybe clear corners very quickly, a higher sensitivity is going to benefit you more than if you are playing someone who is laid back and taking long angles and would really benefit from the precision of having a lower sensitivity when you don't need to do the big flicks. So when we look at that, we also want to look at your play style. If you're someone who likes taking fights in Valorant and you like taking very well managed and orthodox fights, a lower sensitivity may benefit you more than a higher sensitivity. But I want to talk a little bit about how much it really impacts your performance. A lot of people will talk about sensitivity in a way where it seems as though it is controlling your play style. And what I mean by this is a lot of people will contribute to saying a higher sensitivity is for very flicky, go in people. And while that's true, you don't want to let it dictate your aim style. Your aim style and how you train are unique to you. What your pros and your cons are unique to you. So if you end up being very good with a lower sensitivity, but you want to be a flicky, like high-paced person, going to a higher sensitivity might not be beneficial, and it may be better to play to your strengths. So if we take a look here, I have a tool I'm going to bring up. This is on AimLabs' site. This is a sensitivity converter. So you put in the game that you're playing, you put in your sensitivity and your mouse DPI, and it will show you here how many centimeters per 360 that it takes to do a 360. Now, a comfortable range for your centimeters per 360, again, does depend on the game, but generally anything between 20 centimeters to 80 centimeters per 360 in the community is well known to be a comfortable range, where you're in about that average where you're going to get the modest benefits of both a higher and lower sensitivity without going off the deep end too much to really lean to one side or the other. Now, if we look at Valorant, this is my mouse sensitivity and this is my DPI. I play on a quite low sensitivity on Valorant, and the reason for this is because I have a very controlled aim style where I'm taking a lot of fights where my crosshair placement is good and I'm not really entering onto sight a lot with very flicky movements. Now, I am a jet player, however, I play to my strengths and my aim style that benefits me. So what you want to do is not let your sensitivity control your aim style, and so you can go low sense and then you play like this, and then you go high sense and you play very flicky. You want to find what your strength is and what your aim style is and adapt your sensitivity to be comfortable for that, not the other way around. This is how you want to use your sensitivity as a tool, which I talked about in my previous video about aiming mechanics. You want to use it as a tool. You don't want to use it as a crutch. You don't want to use your sensitivity to change how you're playing the game. You want it to adapt to how you are as a player to give you a benefit. So to do this, you want to identify what your aim style is and then lean towards that in your mouse sensitivity. Now, a lot of people will be very scared to change their mouse sensitivity that they're used to. However, this is not something that you should necessarily be super scared of. Finding a good sensitivity is always a good practice. Players like tens who have very good aim, they've spent a lot of years aim training, swap sensitivities and adjust very easily. You are also capable of doing this. When you are training your aim, you're not training that sensitivity, you are training your ability to aim. So don't be afraid to change your sensitivity and try to find something that's a little bit more comfortable for you. However, that being said, you don't want to change it every day of the week. You want to find something and stick with it a little bit so that you can really feel the ins and outs of that sensitivity and see if it's something that's comfortable for you and your playstyle. Once you get used to a sensitivity that you have tried out for a little bit of time, then you're going to want to adjust it to see if there's something that you like a little bit better. Now, let's say that we're playing a game of Valorant. You want to try out the mouse sensitivity 4, which is 4 centimeters per 360. A little bit on the fast side, especially for a tactical shooter. However, you're quite flicky. You like having a fast sense and being very reactive, so this is the sensitivity that you try out. From here, this is where you would see if the sensitivity works for you, and you get a feeling for it. If you're over flicking or under flicking, you adjust. If it feels a little too fast, you just adjust it. But again, give yourself some set-in period of using sensitivity before you make that adjustment and call. You really want to get a feel for it before you start changing it. You don't want to change it instantly. You want to get a good feel for it. So remember, if there's some key takeaways that I want you to take away from this video, I want you to take away from the fact that you should not let your sensitivity control your aim style or play style in a game. You should choose the aim style and play style that best fits you as a person, and then adapt your sensitivity to benefit from that and use it as a tool. And you want to be changing your sensitivity every so often when you're trying to find a good one after you've given a little break-in period for you to feel out the sensitivity itself. Sensitivity is not going to make you a better player. Finding something that's comfortable for you will allow you to improve, and that's the first step. As always, thank you so much for watching. Like, share to the chuds who can't aim at all and tell them to find a better sensitivity. You know that guy who's on 10,000 DPI, send him this video right now. You got to get out of that. Use the centimeters per 360 rule and try to find something that's in the comfortable area.